I would say that having a curious mindset,
Yeah.
because in our case, in accounting and finance, many people think, or many people also does, that they are just trying to be a number cruncher. So once we know the story, once we understand what is happening in the business, it automatically helps you understand why we are doing this. And always ask question why, when, how, why I'm doing this, how I can do this, how I can improve this, when I should do this, when I should learn something new, when I should do in a different way. So these kind of things, always ask those things.
You're listening to the East Meets West Pakistani Professional Journeys podcast, released bi weekly every Sunday at 5 p.m. on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple iTunes. Welcome to the East Meets West Pakistani Professional Journeys podcast. Today, we have Muhammad Zeeshan Sheikh, who completed his master's in accounting and finance from the University of London, and he's a designated CPA. He's worked at KPMG, Algonquin Power, and now is the head of financial reporting and senior manager at Northland Power. All right, I guess we can just start with your experience in Pakistan. I'll leave it slightly open. So, how was your time in Pakistan in terms of visits, or if you grew up there for a bit, or do you mind just sharing that experience?
For definitely, I'll start from the beginning. So I born in area called Jhelum in Punjab. So then I mostly spent my time and I brought up in Lahore. I completed my studies. In fact, not completed, but the majority part of my studies I have done in Lahore. So I did my graduation from Punjab University. After that, I joined ACCA and completed it from Scans Institute in Lahore. And then I briefly worked as an internee in Pakistan, but my major working experience started in Dubai.
So, in terms of the personal side, was there any experiences in Pakistan that you remember were fun, or any food places in Punjab, or any like travels you did in your hometown, or
No, there's very famous saying, Din Lahore ni takiya jamya nahi. So I am a die-hard fan of Lahore. I love Lahore. I grew up in Lahore. So there's so many places in Lahore which is very famous for food. Lahoris they're very well known foodie, but unfortunately I'm not
oh, okay.
I'm not living for food. I'm eating for living. But yeah, definitely there are many places. Most important thing, like I have my childhood friend in Lahore, my family is
Yeah.
there, so that place will always stay very close to my heart.
Okay. And was there any mentors or anyone that you related to back in Pakistan that helped you or propelled you as you grew up, or was it mostly you learned a lot on your own and you went from there?
So there is very interesting story behind that. So I was a computer science student. So I
Oh, okay.
switched to accounting and finance because one of my neighbor, he used to work in KPMG. He was a KPMG manager at that point of time, and I just went to him to get some advice because I was studying in AppTech Institute, and due to some certain reason, they have some issues in Pakistan, so I could not continue my bachelor's degree in computer sciences with him. So I just went to him and say, his name is Ali Said. Ali, bhai, tell me what should I do? So he said, do CA or ACCA. I said, why? He said, whole university get the charter when then they can be considered as a university. Here, one person get the charter. So better to do CA or ACCA. That's how I switched
Yeah.
because due to that like, difficulty my college was facing at that point of time, it's
Yeah.
was me to switch the career into accounting and finance, and he helped me with that.
Okay. It must have been like, how was this during your high school or when university? Like, when was this advice? It must have been tough to switch. Like, it's pretty nerve wracking, right?
Yeah, so it is like when I was doing my graduation. So then
Oh, wow. Okay.
it is in the university time.
Wow.
I always wanted to be a computer science person,
Yeah.
but unfortunately or fortunately, whatever you want to call it, I switched my career or my education during that period.
And what was the like your like in terms of taking that leap? Because a lot of people find it hard, like switching to another completely different industry. If you think about it, so what was the push that got you to okay? I'm going to listen to this advice.
Yeah, you know that now we have this mentorship and coaching system quite often. Back in time when I was in that phase, we don't have much already
Exactly.
sort of
Yeah.
opportunity available. So we always admire Ali Bhai, because he was just living opposite to my house and he was studying quite hard, and then he joined
Okay.
PwC for horticulture, and then later on he joined KPMG. Now he's a general manager in one of the multinational company in Pakistan. So we all, since childhood, we admire him. So when he gives an advice, so I take it seriously.
Listen. Got it. Awesome. So, in terms of your exposure, so you said you worked in the Gulf and then you later moved to Canada and started your role at KPMG. A lot of people find it hard to break in to their industry in Canada. How was that experience like for you?
So I'm very thankful. Again, luckily, I always get the right people during my journey. Like when I started working in Dubai, so I started with real estate company, but
Yep.
I always wanted to join Big Four. So I was always applying for different Big Four opportunity in Middle East, whether it's Dubai or Kuwait, Bahrain, anywhere, wherever I was finding an opportunity, I was just dropping my resume, reaching out to consultant. So luckily, I got an opportunity in KPMG Abu Dhabi office. So I started working with them in 2009, and then I worked with them till 2013. During that time, I was lucky enough to working on the largest government of Abu Dhabi client. One of the largest oil concession I was working, and second one is one of the largest sovereign wealth fund called Mubadala Investment Company. Those two are my major client at that point of time. And later on, that over there they have law or policy, whatever you wanna call it. So you have to rotate the auditor after 3 years. So KPMG lost that audit of Mubadala. Then I got an opportunity to join Mubadala. Mubadala is a $330 billion investment fund. It's a powerhouse of Government of Abu Dhabi. So I got a very great experience over there, met with great people. So I'm very thankful to all of them and all my bosses or mentors over there. So then one of my boss over there is Cyrus. He recommended me in KPMG Canada. So
Wow.
he referred me when I was in Abu Dhabi, because he used to work in Canada Toronto office. When he moved back to Abu Dhabi, he was in Abu Dhabi, came to Canada, got some experience, and he went back to Abu Dhabi. So when I told him I'm moving to Canada, I'm planning to move to Canada, then he referred me. Then during my landing tenure, I got a chance to meet various KPMG folks, and I ended up landing a job in
Awesome.
KPMG.
Nice. So, in terms of actually shifting to Canada, was that experience pretty smooth, or did you find challenges along the way when you first moved here?
So I always tell my team happiness is a state of mind. It's not the circumstances, it's how you see the thing. Leaving Abu Dhabi wasn't an easy decision, because my wife, she also brought up in Dubai. So
Yeah.
she has more connection with Dubai rather than Pakistan.
Yeah.
So it was not an easy move, of course, but you have to tell yourself you have to keep going. Once wherever you are, you have to think that this is your home, this is your place. That mindset helped me a lot to settle down quickly.
Great. And I guess you worked at KPMG and then you specialized in external reporting. So, how did you realize that you were interested in external reporting? Was it just opportunity came in and you took it, or did you know once you were at KPMG that you're gonna shift to that area or position?
So I would say I have a well-rounded finance and auditing experience, because I was working in finance when I started my career. There was a pure
Yep.
finance role. Then I moved to audit, where I was in the audit for external client, plus also performing some special procedure, working on MD&A or bond issuance, etc. So I got a
Yep.
very good experience. Then when I joined Mubadala, so I joined as a FP&A specialist. So in that role, we got an opportunity to work on overall finance. platform finance thing, which include FP&A, budgeting, forecasting, cash forecasting, then also reporting, whether it's internal reporting or external reporting. And we also get a chance to work on if whenever we are buying any new asset or monetizing any asset and doing the valuation for our portfolio assets. So it was very well-rounded experience which helped me. Like KPMG Abu Dhabi experience helped me to get a job in KPMG Toronto office. And then Mubadala experience helped me to get a job in Algonquin.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. So I guess the experience, like, well, how was that, or how did you find it?
So there was like Mubadala was a sort of listed entity because of the bond they were listed in London Stock Exchange, but that entity
Okay,
itself is 100% owned by government. So we had a flavor. We are issuing the MD&A and the financial statement on a quarterly basis, working on other agreed upon procedure, working on other requirement by EU or US, etc. Because Mubadala has their portfolio asset everywhere across the globe and in
yeah,
many different sectors. You call it, they might have an asset in that sector.
yeah,
So when I was working in Mubadala, I got an experience in semiconductor. That is very that nowadays this very hot
yeah.
topic.
That's yeah,
Yeah. So they have a company called Global Foundries. It's listed in New York Stock Exchange now. So
yeah,
at that point of that was 100% on the Mubadala. So I was
yeah,
taking care of that asset. Then they have aluminium asset upstream, then midstream, downstream, starting from aluminum, which they're selling outside, then starting from they also acquire all the supply chain and they have the mines as well. So I got experience to work on all those supply chain of aluminum as well. Then they have mines itself. So we have a gold mine, copper mine in Spain and Colombia. So I get a chance to work on those platform or those industries as well. Then they have power assets. So that power asset experience helped me to get a job in Algonquin.
Algonquin.
And then
Got you.
and in Mubadala, that was quite advanced in terms of system, processes, etc. So that really helped me to understand the business, understand the nature of the industry, understand the processes, systems very easily. So that was a very smooth transition in Algonquin. But
Okay,
one thing I would mention here, because Algonquin was a listed entity, so that
yeah,
was a quite fast pace. Good thing or bad thing about that listed entity or reporting experience, the end goal, the reporting timelines. So you work back, whether you cry or you smile, you have to report.
So I guess once you completed your time at Algonquin, if I'm not mistaken, 3 years you were working there approximately, and then you moved on to your current role as in Northland Power. So that jump is it's really good. So how were you able to position yourself to get that role after 3 years?
Yeah. So actually, when I was at Algonquin, I was working as a manager external reporting. I was taking care of financial statement, MD&A,
Yeah,
managing that process for listed entity. And Northland was also a listed entity. So when
yeah,
I joined them as a senior manager for external financial reporting, which include external and internal reporting. So I was managing that. Then later on, with the passage of time, and when my seniors, my bosses, they saw me excelling in the business and knowing the business, I always have a business IQ. I
yeah.
don't just go by the number, I go by the story. So they offered me this current role of director of that is head of accounting, reporting, and controls.
Got it. And in terms of what you did to get to that role, to prove to your the seniors, like, what was the main, you would say, without obviously giving too much personalized detail, but in general, what were the actions that you took to reach that level?
One thing is there's no shortcut correct for in success. You have to work hard. So we
Yeah,
I
no.
was working hard, and so is many other people. I won't say that. I would say I'm also lucky. I work hard. I got a support from family,
Yeah,
and then I try to understand the business. As I mentioned, when you are trying to understand the business anywhere in any organization, you can become a key or important person in that organization. I
got you.
tried that, connecting the right dots, meeting with the right people, providing the right information to those people. So that helped me to get this opportunity.
Okay. And did you do any networking inside, or was it mostly just through your job and communicating the financials and relate to that mostly? Was there any networking you did internally?
So when you're working on external reporting, right? So for the listed entity, you get a chance to meet with all the executive, audit committee
Yeah.
member,
So,
board member, presenting the financial statement and DNA before issuing to the public. You need to get an approval from the board member and audit committee member. So then automatically it's a high, like I would say, a high visibility role or high face time role. So that helped me into getting this role.
got it. Okay. So, throughout your time first moving to Canada and now to this point, were there any courses you took, any items or things you did to reach to this point, or was it mostly just through your role that you went through?
Yeah. So when I was at Algonquin, I did my master's in applied accounting, professional accounting from University of London, UK. There was an online master degree program with the affiliation of ACCA. So I got
Mhm.
that opportunity. I said, okay, I don't have a master degree. Let's do it. I want to do it MBA, but I think that it was a long time ago. But I did master's in 2019, 2020, just before the COVID. So you can imagine
Oh, wow.
it's a listed entity working
Oh
day
my
and
God.
night, also studying. But the thing is, you have to sacrifice for certain point of time. And at that point of time, I have a very young daughter as well. So my daughter
Yeah.
born during that period as well in 2018. So
Oh
everything was
wow.
happening at the same time. But good,
Like how
I done that at that point of time.
okay, how did you organize yourself? There's so many aspects that you have. Like obviously in a new country as well. Like what was the like how did you juggle all those activities?
So I think one thing is I got a support from my family. They were very supportive and they helped me a lot. Plus, I was trying to spend 1 hour, 2 hour in the office, trying to study after office hours. Then
Wow.
I sacrificed a lot of weekends. So
Yeah.
instead of going and meeting people, spending time outside, I was just allocating certain point of time to complete this degree program.
Okay. No, makes sense. So I guess like from the experiences you've done so far. So if you were to go back in time, like when you first moved to Canada, starting your job, KPMG, would you give any advice to your younger self first moving to Canada?
So I would say that one thing because of the COVID or whatever you wanna call it in the beginning, I haven't focused on networking.
Okay.
So networking is key. So I like if you not only like you get a job through networking, but you also learn so many things from different people. If I would give one advice to myself, I would just say that spend time or invest time in networking. Meet the right people, understand how they are where they are because when you're sitting outside, it look very easy. Oh, how come that person is sitting on this position? Maybe I can do a better job, but that's not true.
No. Yeah.
Because if someone is having some title or assuming some responsibility, there is a reason for that. So
Yeah.
we should appreciate that. I think with the passage of time, with maturity, you start realizing this thing. Everyone
Got it.
has some quality, something in them. So that's why they're there. So networking, I would say.
Awesome. And in terms of key skills or habits you've developed through your time, what do you think is the most notable that's led you to this success so far?
So I would say that having a curious mindset,
Yeah.
because in our case, in accounting and finance, many people think or many people also does that they are just trying to be a number cruncher. So once we know the story, once we understand what is happening in the business, it automatically helps you to understand why we are doing this. And always ask question why, when, how, why I'm doing this, how I can do this, how I can improve this, when I should do this, when I should learn something new, when I should do in a different way. So these kind of thing, always ask those things.
Awesome. And I guess in terms of how do you define success? Like you can go personally, professionally. I'll leave the question open to you how you want to go about it.
So for me, success is not a race, right? It's a marathon. So you know that when you are in school or college, you're saying, okay, if I'll do my metric or high school or inter, wow, this is a great achievement. But that is the achievement till the point you achieve that. After that, what next? What next? So same thing. Success is if you're improving every day, that's a success for me. It can be financial improvement, it can be professional improvement, it can be personal improvement, it can be improvement in relation with others. So these all a part of success. And also being a Muslim, it's also are we improving being a Muslim as well or not?
Yeah, exactly. And I guess the final question, this is, I feel like within finance and accounting, there is this, a lot of professionals, they get stuck in a position or they get, because there's no like certain trajectory sometimes. So you kind of have to build your own or leverage experiences from others. So how do you think a professional, especially in accounting and finance, develop in this industry as much as possible? So you mentioned a few, so trying to be curious, learning as much as possible. Is there anything else that you would recommend?
Yeah. Other day we are having a town hall and our CEO, she rightly said, always say yes to the opportunities.
Okay.
Thing is like when you're getting some opportunity and if you don't say yes to that, someone else will.
Mhm.
Right? And
Right.
opportunity won't stay forever. So sometimes we are living in our comfort zone and we think that, oh, why should I do that?
Yeah,
What's in it
exactly.
for me? So
Yeah.
my belief is what I'm doing now, it will help me after 5 years. It will not help me today. So what I have already done 5 years ago, that is helping me today. So
Right.
always try to grind yourself and try to make sure you are doing your best and learning something new. And when there is new opportunity come, just say yes to that. And you will learn over the course of the business, right? When you're in it, you learn it.
Awesome. No, thank you so much, Molly. Like you talked about so many different experiences that you had from being in the Gulf and then moving to Canada and all the variety of experiences you've got. So thank you so much for being on the podcast and making the time as well. So thank you so much.
No, no problem. It's a pleasure talking to you.